Welcome to Business Talk, presented in collaboration with the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, from the heart of southeastern Ohio at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Our goals are simple: promote the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, as well as advocate local small business and their support organizations. More importantly, promote Southeastern Ohio as a wonderful place to live, explore, and learn. There are many different ways you can find us. The University of Rio Grande Cable Access Channel 17, live online at blogtalkradio.com, and on YouTube if you are unable to catch our show live. Introducing our co-hosts, Jason Winters, Mike Thompson, Patrick Dengel. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
You know, Peter, it's really great to feature various different businesses and organizations, and it's our pleasure today to feature two really good community-orientated individuals who are representing Farmers Bank. You know, Mike, I've heard of Farmers Bank on several different bases from clients, small business clients, and things of that nature, and they have always spoken well of the customer service, of the people that are involved in it, and so I wanted to have and feature Heather Crum. Heather is the marketing manager at the Farmers Bank. She has been with the organization for at least 2 years. And then also Patrick Saunders. He's the branch manager of the Gallipolis office and the vice president. And he's had how many years involved in banking?
Just over 4, Patrick.
Over 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really a great pleasure to have you, here on the our business talk.
I can imagine that banking is sort of a thankless job, unless you're giving them money. But it's probably and two with marketing. How do you market just, keeping your money and stuff? But I don't know if it might be worse than being in the restaurant business, because when you don't hear anything about anything until you screw up, and then man, people are mad at everything.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Well, I tell you what, I'm not jealous of a restaurant owner, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I got involved and began in banking when I was in college. It's kind of when I decided that's what I wanted to do. There is a lot to it, and I guess I would have to disagree. There are times where it's a thankless job, just like any job, but I tell you what, it really is enjoyable, and there's a lot of times where we provide a lot of opportunity and do a lot of things for the community, for our customers and those around, that it really makes it worthwhile.
And I can talk on a donation standpoint, where I deal with donations a lot. And, you have some of those instances where you send in a donation but you don't hear anything back. But almost always you get a thank you card. Someone calls and says thank you, and they're really appreciative of anything that you can give them. Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Well, I'm obviously, he's introduced me as Patrick Saunders. I've been born and raised in Gallipolis County, actually, and it's so great to be able to work in the county that I was born in. A lot of my friends, a lot of my family even have had to move away to look for employment. But I've lived in Gallipolis County for 23 years now, 27 years old. 4 years I was at Ohio State University where I studied ag business and economics, which kind of led me into what I'm doing now. But my family is all from here. We're a farm family. From the Gallipolis area. My wife and I, we live just south of Gallipolis. So I live in the community that I serve. That's really cool. I grew up there, and I'm just so happy to be here.
And you're a Buckeye through and through, correct?
I am very much a Buckeye, yes.
Very good.
Yes.
And you don't miss Columbus and the traffic and the whole bit up there?
I do not. I don't. I honestly can sit here and say I do not want to relive my college days. I enjoyed the time when I was up there. I love Ohio State. But
because I've seen the attitude sometimes, you haven't made it until you've gone to the big city and you've, whatever. It's like, well, I like my 4-mile drive to work where the only thing I might have to dodge is a deer.
Right. And, I knew from the time I left Ohio State, I had some opportunity elsewhere. I did not have anything really lined up in Gallipolis other than working on the family farm and doing some things on a personal level. But I knew I wanted to come back to the community. That was important to me, and that was my dream. My dream wasn't to work in an office in a cubicle somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
Heather?
My name's Heather Crum, born and raised right across the river in Mason County. I am a Point Pleasant High School alum. I went to Marshall, and I got a degree in public relations and marketing. Came back here, perfectly way into being the marketing manager for Farmers Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Marshall University is a really good university.
It is. It is.
They have a number of really good programs, and many of those programs are tied into marketing, media. And didn't you have a background in some TV kinds of programs?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I was going through school, one of my professors suggested that I would be great in broadcast. So I applied for an internship at WSAZ News Channel 3, and I was lucky enough to get that, and then from there they hired me.
Ah, very good. And then fortunately Ohio was calling, and we were able to grab you back, and you came to work for Farmers Bank.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that did probably you a service in helping you present yourself comfortably in front of people, in front of cameras and different things.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but I got to see a completely different side of it. I got to see what the news stations look for and the newspapers look for whenever you write a press release.
Right.
What makes it easier for them.
What gets edited and what gets trashed.
Exactly. Yep. So that's definitely helped me.
Yeah.
So I am curious. Tell us about Farmers Bank. You know,
Is it just
on
for farmers? I mean, I don't work on a farm, so.
By no means. Farmers Bank is a community-oriented bank, and I'm going to let Heather field most of this question because she's the guru of the history and she knows it all. But what my blurb is on this is it's a local community-owned bank, and it is just amazing. I came from a past where we worked with an institution that didn't have quite that same feel, and I can tell you from my experience that I'm going through now, I absolutely love the community feel of it. So.
Absolutely. Farmers Bank opened its doors in 1904 in Meigs County, and that makes Farmers Bank the oldest financial institution in Meigs County. And from there,
106 years, is that correct?
It's 109, I believe.
109.
We're going on 109 in December.
See,
Yes.
When we get past my
After you're 21 years old, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
that's right.
You just stop counting, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, definitely what Patrick said. We're definitely community oriented. That's what we focus on more than anything, is the financial needs of our community. We make our decisions here locally. We promote the local economy. And of course, whenever you bank with a community bank like Farmers Bank, your money goes straight back into the local economy.
So what is the difference between a mega bank and a community bank?
Absolutely. We provide all of the services that a mega bank does at a lower cost. And not only that, but we get to know you personally. We get to, whenever you walk through the doors, we talk to you on a first name basis. We get to know you on a personal level.
That seems counterintuitive from the idea that Walmart, since it's so big and does such mass, they can sell for lower because they do more business. But you're saying that your smaller bank can do a lower cost possibly.
Well, I think a lot of it, our structure is, maybe some of the mega banks, so to speak, they're going to be looking more at dollars and cents. I'm making decisions on a daily basis for my friends and other people in the community that I know. When I work on a commercial loan, I am familiar and maybe have been a customer of the business that I'm working on, and that really makes a big difference. And I think where that's big with me working on the loan side is I think that is great. Things aren't always easy. And I think financially it is very, very good to have somebody locally that, when you're going through those times or you're dealing with that issue or you have that question that, they pick up the phone and call Patrick. They don't pick up the phone and call the loan officer that may be traveling through.
I wonder who's going to pick up the phone this time.
Right. So, on the financial side, I think that's just huge to me.
Yeah, just like here at the college, you don't hit an answering machine or service or whatever. We have people that answer the phone and can answer a question or
Right.
direct you to the people that know.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. If you call Farmers Bank, you are going to get a person answering the phone, and it's going to be someone that you probably know.
Mhm.
And they're going to be able to either answer your question or direct you to the best person to answer that question.
You bring up a interesting thought. I'm curious. You know, University of Rio Grande is an international school in which we have a variety of different individuals from different countries, and sitting next to me is Peter Masters. He's from England. You have my curiosity up. How have you found the banking industry compared to England to here? You know?
Other than pounds and dollars.
We have a completely different situation set up. We do not have local community banks. Every bank in England, we only have about 7 or 8 large institutions.
Are they government run?
They're not government run, but they obviously, with the economic crisis a few years back, we did have a big collapse in England of some of the banks, and they were bailed out by the government, so now they are partially sort of government interference sort of on that side of it. A lot of people did not change banks. A lot of people kept their money in the same banks, but our banks are not, because they're national, they're all sort of known for different specialities. They all have their ups and downs, but I know there's a Spanish bank that we have, which up until a few years ago was doing extremely well in England because it was specialising on small business loans and small businesses. But then it collapsed in the Spanish economy, so people were trying to get out of it. So things like that happen, but with our system it's all national. There's no local banks, so you're dealing on a national scale. Whenever you call someone, unless you're calling a local branch like they say, you get through to someone just at a call centre. So, I mean, you don't know who you're speaking to. You don't have the familiarity, except if you're in a local branch, obviously they might recognise a few people.
So how do banks make money?
How do banks make money? Through different various means. You know, we work off deposits, we work off loans, and those are the big ones with us. I know Heather's from marketing, so I don't really have somebody on the deposit side with me. But you know, we're taking those funds that members of the community they put into our bank, and we're turning those around and putting them back into the community in terms of loans, and that's where our main source of income comes from.
Okay, do you do house loans?
We do.
Do you sell them off?
We do offer a product where we do, but we also offer products where we keep those loans in-house. You know, different customers have different feelings on those. Some customers come to me and they are all about wanting a secondary market loan. Let's go down that avenue. I'm dead set on that.
So you have a choice.
Yeah. And then I've got other customers that they're not comfortable with that. You know, and I particularly don't have either way. To me is fine. That it's whatever that customer is comfortable with. So yeah, we do have some of those different options.
Okay.
Yeah, we
That's
have several.
interesting.
We have several different options if you're looking for loans. A lot of people I know. Whenever at first I wasn't in banking. If you would have came up to me whenever I was in college and said you are going to be the marketing manager for a bank, I would have thought you were nuts.
Oh yay! I can't think of anything more exciting, right?
Yeah.
But you know, stepping into the banking industry, I had no idea that I could go to my local community bank and ask for a car loan.
Just got to went through the dealer. Or
my generation was you go straight to the dealer. The dealer gave you a best rate, and then you went about your day. Well, now being in the banking industry, I've learned that the best rate isn't always the best way to go. The best way to go is to talk to your community bank to see what they can offer you and different payment options for any loan.
Yeah.
So would you be able to match the 0% financing that some like GM and those?
Particularly not, and this is something that I have a lot more. I have a lot more experience in my past in agriculture lending, working on equipment loans. I have had many customers bring that to me in the past, and sometimes we're not the right avenue for that customer. And the important thing for me when I have a customer is sending them down the right avenue, and because their overall financial picture to me is what is important. because that relationship maintains and it keeps both of us strong.
And you'll get other parts of their business,
Of
not
course,
their car
of course,
alone,
yeah.
maybe something
But,
else.
there's also opportunity in those situations where 0% financing may be contingent on an array of different stipulations that you must meet.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe you're getting X amount of dollars off of that vehicle if you don't use 0% financing. Maybe the interest cost is less than would be
Or
make up
maybe it
the
has to be
difference
in
in
a-
the reduction.
A 3 or 4 year loan, which maybe they can't handle those.
Correct. So, advertising's not always what it seems, but sometimes it could be the best path, but
And I definitely think that's where we try to step in. We try to be as transparent as possible. And like Patrick said, if we don't think if we think that you would be a good fit with us, or if you don't, we will let you know.
Mm-hmm.
We will let you know what the best thing for you is at that time.
One of the things that I found rather interesting as Jessica and Peter, as we were looking through some of the information, you do a lot of education. I would imagine that everyone has their own ideas about what banks should or should not be. And you have different tiers of banking. I remember my daughter, when we were 3 years old, she wanted something, and we said, well, we just didn't have the money for it. He says, well, just go to the bank. That's where you get your money from. And so a lot of people have different understandings of banks, and you do a lot of training. You have Banking You,
yes. April is Financial Literacy Month. That's something that we are promoting right now. And specifically, April 23rd is Teach Children How to Save Day. We recognize that the place that we need to start is teaching children about finances. So on April 23rd, Farmers Bank in Meigs County is going to each of the 4th grade classes in all of the elementary schools and talking to the children about different ways that they could save to their level. And then the next week we are going to be going to Gallia and Meigs County for that same reason. Leewaying into our Banking on You program, we recognize that in this area there is a lack of understanding of certain subjects in finance. So we listened to our customers, polled them on what they wanted to hear about. For example, in February we did a How to Improve Your Credit Score seminar. Free to the public. We had light refreshments, a great time. We even had door prizes. And something else we're doing at the end of the year is, after you attend the seminar, you can fill out a form basically saying, how did we do, so we can improve those seminars. But at the end of the year in December, we're going to be putting your name into a drawing to win $1,000 possibly.
Very good. Credit scores. Let's talk a little bit about credit scores. There seems to be a lot of confusion, misunderstanding about credit scores.
What goes into it, how
Yeah.
they're figured out.
There is a lot of conversation we could have on that topic. And I tell you, the best seminar that I have heard was actually our credit analyst that I work with at Farmers Bank. It's Eddie Lanham. Eddie put together on our credit scoring for that Banking on You seminar just an excellent presentation on that. There is a lot of different things that go into it, and there's percentage weights and things, how those are all figured. I guess if somebody is interested in that, anybody listening today wants to talk about it, I have a large amount of information on that I would be happy to share. We would also be very willing to do another Banking on You seminar for customers for that. I can't speak enough about how neat those are. I mean, those Banking on You things are just great. I was visiting with Paul Reed this morning, as the president of Farmers Bank, and he was talking about, he went into the first Banking on You thinking, I'm going as bank support, and he said, I ended up 5 minutes in, found myself enthralled in the conversation. So, he says, I now just so look forward to going to these things, but there is really that much to learn. And financial stuff, what we do every day, and I tell customers that we don't expect you to know all of these things. This is something I do on a day-to-day basis. So I've got to put the blurb in for the one coming up in Gallia County, or at the Gallipolis Ariel Theater, May 9th at 5:30. What we're talking about is one that I know is dear to a lot of customers, especially our age, is Home Buying 101. So we're going to have some different, whether it be attorneys, realtors, those different people, talking about the various facets of purchasing a home.
Yeah, it's not just go out, lay down your money, and
Right.
and head out.
Right. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be great, and I think there's a lot of people in the community that are really going to take advantage of that.
So you're saying May the 9th, and where is it again?
That's at the Gallipolis Ariel Theater, and that is located downtown by the post office.
Okay, right. And the credit, has that already gone? Are you going to have another one?
That was the first one. That was in February. And basically how the Banking on You program is set up is we are offering the seminars that the customers are asking for. So it's a very flexible program. So we have the May Banking on You set up, and we have the June Banking on You set up. We do not have any seminars past that. So if you do want to go to the How to Improve Your Credit Score seminar again, please let us know. Something that we are doing is we're taking polls on Facebook for anybody that wants to go onto our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/myfarmersbank. Comment on our wall post. Let us know what you want us to teach you.
I found your website is well put together,
Thank you.
and that's FSB.
FBSC, as in farmersbanksavingscompany.com.
.com.
Yes.
And it has a lot of useful information. It has information on your bank, university. I am curious. Most individuals feel that once they have a bad credit, that they might as well just give up. And we have many individuals who made some dumb mistakes, and some individuals through no fault of their own that have gotten behind on medical bills and things of that nature. What do you tell individuals?
I face a lot of customers, not a lot, but multiple times I've had customers come to me, and what's neat about, being in banking now a little over 4 years, I've actually seen some of the situations that we had to take to up front. I tell everybody, you have to start somewhere. You can't fix anything until you start. So we had to sometimes make some hard decisions, make some hard moves, but I have seen some of those people start to work and start from that point and work themselves into it, where I've actually been able to make them loans eventually. My biggest advice on that is it takes you personally making a commitment to your credit score to get it better. And as long as you're willing to do that, I'm always willing to help people as much as I can, to teach them and get that thing where it needs to be.
Are there things like, say, if you got a speeding ticket or two, is there an amount of time that, I don't know if it was 4 or 5 years, that goes away? Things are forgiven after a certain amount of time?
There are. A speeding ticket in particular wouldn't show up on there, but...
I know, I'm not...
But I know, but... yes, I guess the long and short, there is a particular time that things stay on there. So, all that stuff we could cover and talk about, and like I said, Eddie does an excellent job of that in his thing. So
we could probably have 2 or 3 shows out of this.
Absolutely. Get Eddie Lanham in here, and he could talk to you all day about credit scores.
Yes, and he does a very, very good job. He makes a complicated matter very simple, and he does it very, very well.
We only have a few more minutes, and I know that you have a lot of information here. What would you like the listening audience to know about Farmers Bank, and what are a couple things that you would like the listening audience to consider in their banking needs about Farmers Bank?
Heather, you can go first.
Okay. I was just going to say, whenever you bank with Farmers Bank, you're going to walk in, you're going to see your friend, You're going to see a neighbor. You're going to see a volunteer that's in the community. We, last year, for example, donated over 1,000 hours of our employees' time to different local organizations specifically.
Is that time where they should have been on the clock, or is it?
No, it is not.
Okay,
it
this
is
is time
not.
over and
It's
above.
weekends. It's whenever
Okay.
they are off. Donating time on boards during walks.
So it's a personal investment.
It is a personal investment, absolutely. And our employees are doing that willingly. It's not something we're forcing upon them. They want to do that. And that's something that I really think differentiates us from a lot of other people.
And I heard that it's just not the newer individuals or the younger individuals. It goes all the way to the top.
It absolutely does. You will see our president and CEO out and about, getting his hands dirty with absolutely anything. If you ask him to be somewhere, he's either doing another volunteer opportunity or he is going to be right there with you.
I think that's fantastic. And the CEO and the president is
Paul Reed.
Paul Reed. And how long has he been involved in banking?
Many
years, huh?
Many
life.
years. His
His
entire
life. Yes.
His entire
Yes.
Yes, and basically, this is a family-owned bank, and basically they told him to be president and CEO, you have to go through every single position of the bank. And so that's what he did. So he's been in every single position of the bank, and he's worked himself up to be president and CEO, I believe, whenever he was 32.
So are we looking at two future presidents of Farmers Banks?
You know, I would hope so, but I don't have Reed in my last name.
Well, there's a lot of years and a lot of work days, I guess, before we could really have anything like that.
Yes.
But I guess back to your question, you had asked what story would we want to tell about Farmers Bank, and a lot of my loan customers, I kind of present the scenario as I would look at it, and I guess I would answer this question in that same way. I have to look at it, and I would want people to know what my experience has been with them. They are community oriented, and I know we've said that multiple times, but it is the truth. They're family oriented. As an employee there, it's a great place to work. They're not just worried about the bottom line. They're worried about your family, what's going on. Those things are important to me. As far as on the lending side and doing that stuff, I've worked with them. I was treated exactly how I would want to be treated. So that's really what I want people to know about Farmers Bank, and I've now lived that experience, and I'm thoroughly impressed.
Very good, very good. I really appreciate your taking the time to come in. One other question, and this is the most important question that you will ever answer. If Ohio State University were to play Marshall University, who would be the better team to win?
Well, you know the Thundering Herd. You know I have to say that.
I thought so.
Well, you know what direction I'm going. I'm 100% Buckeye, so I'm going to have to go with the Buckeyes on that.
Very good.
I would have said depends on the sport.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm still going to stick with my original answer. I don't think it does.
Well, I want to thank both of you for coming on. It's been my experience that Farmers Bank is truly a community bank, and we have some really good banks in the Gallipolis in southern Ohio.
We very well do. Yes.
And
How many branches do you have?
There's five. There's five branches.
There are five branches, and we are currently renovating what is going to house our administration operations.
Yes.
And then you've got ATMs also?
Yes, there's, I believe,
17?
I think
21.
21 ATM locations throughout the area.
That's pretty good service.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
So I want to thank both of you for coming on. I'm Patrick.
I'm Peter.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Mike.
I'm Patrick.
And I am Heather.
And Jason in the back says he's Jason.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.